Hey guys, welcome to this live with Flip Moss. I'm just gonna check the video is rolling in the community. It's going, it's good. Perfect. It's good. And I appreciate you all for being here. Everyone who is joining, please press live. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And the I really appreciate you putting your time in this and investing in yourself. Hey Philip, how is it going? Good man, good is going good. Uh, and the reason I brought this guy, like the Flip Moss, the reason is from failure to failure after from 3 years to earning quarter a million in 2022. It's really hard, and we all know it's really hard as entrepreneurs. And a lot of people start doing different things after this kind of success, but this person is still into the game and doing the things that, especially on Facebook, high ticket affiliate marketing, and building his business. And we can learn a lot. We'll just keep it freestyle. Ask your questions away if you have any questions, and we'll go from here. Now I will bring on Flip. Let's get started and let's go. And again, this is streaming on the StreamYard. So make sure to press on the link. In that way, it will show me the comments, like who's commenting and everything. Perfect.
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
how's it going, man?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Good, man. Good. Thank you so much for your time and being in my community and helping folks out.
Absolutely, man. So you got one person that commented. If anyone else is on, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. If
Yeah.
you've already started, if you're doing affiliate marketing or looking to start, um, you know, I like to see some comments in the comment section. Helps me with my self-esteem.
I like that. We got two since joining. Just feel free to shoot on any questions you have. Where are you from? Things like that. What you do right these days. And let's go. So let's get started. So before starting, I'll keep it like freestyle. So it's
Yeah.
no like we just chilling basically, but helping folks out. So the first question is, as I mentioned, you like 3 years of failure, and what what kept you going basically? Like because a lot of people, quit. Even I see, even myself, it's really hard to be sustained. What kept you going to be at this level now?
That's a loaded question, but really, I worked a pretty physically demanding job, and I worked 12-hour shifts, right? And I was hardly ever home. I worked about a decade in the factory life, and 2016 and 2017, both of my daughters were born, and to be honest, what really drove me to start looking into online business in 2017 was the fact that I was watching my kids take their first steps and say their first words through a phone because I was never at home. Like
Oh,
I was working 60 to 90 hours a week. So I was that very skeptical person. Like I didn't even trust Amazon at the time, but that's what put a fire under my ass, and that's what drove me to want to make it work. And like I made a decision then. I was like, I know this is going to be difficult. I know it's going to be hard, but if I don't quit, I start, I keep going, and I remember why I'm doing it, then that's what kept me going, right? So now I've been at home about 2.5 years, since I got fired, and I've been
that's
home
fine.
every day. Yeah, I got fired. Yep.
Oh man, that how long you work at the place you worked?
Uh,
And what was it? What where did you used to work? Like what kind of change was it?
I I used to run a press. I don't know if anyone has watched the cartoon The Simpsons, but how Homer worked in a plant, and he had this really big console. So I used to run a big piece of equipment. It was a press, and it was really hot there, even in the wintertime. I worked there about 10 years. I worked my way up from the bottom, just like I did online. I started as summer help there, and didn't have a lick of experience in the plant, and I became one of the top paid supervisors there. I ran a team at the plant of 50 guys. I had 2 crews, um, and when COVID hit, that's when things kind of went crazy because I don't hold my tongue for anyone, and if I disagree with you, I don't care if you're higher up than me or not. I'm gonna speak on my perspective and my views, and I ended up getting fired because I spoke my truth. So I got fired.
I can resonate with you, man. I'm fired too, and it's and just you can't speak your mind at your job, and if something is really light, right, you
Yep.
have to speak the truth, right? So I
Yeah.
get it. And if I see people coming live, if you're here live right now, please put live, say hello, where are you from, things like that, and we'll go next.
Yeah.
I see something. I see like you are building this big community. You have a really big community of 4,000 people, and this is a business question. We'll mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
So, how do you manage to 4,000 people? A lot of people need value, but you want a money too, money side too. So, how do you balance value, giving value, and monetization at the same time?
So let's I'll give you a good example. I used to be worried about me giving too much value, right? I
Okay.
really used to worry about that. But now it's like my community grows, every week, every month, and there is a lot of people in there. Now, if you think about it, there's brand new folks in there. There's folks that have been in there for a little while, and then there are folks that have been there from the start, right? But you're always going to have folks that don't pay attention, don't take action, and they just want to soak up everything they can for free, right? So now I had a shift, in the last 12 months. It's like I can sit here and tell you guys exactly how to close more sales, how I create my offers, how I talk to folks, how I handle conversations. And there will still be a large percentage of folks that do not go and implement it, right? I can share all the secrets, right? And we're not really worried. I'm not worried about how much value am I given, but more of the plan and the process. Like I get to thank Jacob Karras for helping me think this way. Um, like it doesn't matter what I share. If I give value and I can explain things to where it makes sense for people, like concepts, plans, processes, etc. What I'm really selling now is the outcome, help with the implementation, right? Support. There are a lot of programs out there that are all hyped up and they don't have the community or the support. So it's like when I put things in my group, flip your switch, that's the name of it. It's me sharing my experience, things that are working, processes, how I think, how I operate, results, client results, student results. And with me just sharing all of that, it lets people in to see how I operate, and they can make their own decision whether they want to work with me or not. Right? Some people don't like me because I say fuck. I don't want to work with those people. All right, they're not going to jive with me that well. Right?
Yes.
Just the way I speak, the way I talk, this is how I coach too. Right?
Kind of
So
like the personality flows in, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When I get excited, I'll tend to cuss a little bit. Um, but those of you that are here watching, like, I'm curious. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to anything that I'm talking about. If you worry about the value thing, if that was helpful. Like I want to see the comments popping, so make sure you drop your questions and stuff as we go. Because when I do these hangout sessions and interviews, I will literally give you my experience and my best advice. Like I don't hold anything back. If you're driving, I totally understand, man.
But it's good. This guy is really like listening and like soaking in.
Yep.
So that's good. That's good.
Yep.
Okay, that's really good. Like in for me as well. Still now, like my community is like 250 members. YouTube channel is growing, but you have to manage that. But this is really powerful because if you can be real and share your experiences,
Yeah.
in some time people get start resonating with you, right?
Yeah.
So, so next question is: imagine you lose your group. You mentioned it, I saw that post too today, like you're changing group thing and you're building a new group now.
Mhm.
You lose everything today, your brand name, your everything. Like you have a TikTok channel too, I think, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So if you lose everything, if someone is planning to start new or wanna go all in, you have all your knowledge, but you lose your business. What you will do starting today with all your knowledge you have right now?
If I lost everything today and had to restart something tomorrow, the first thing I would do is get back on social media. Right now, I do have a backup plan. Right, pretty much all the folks that are in my group, I've got them on my email list too. But like last year, as an example, I lost a TikTok account with 40,000 followers on it. Right, and I did
40,000 followers?
40,000.
Oh man, that's
Um,
bad.
it took me about 6 months to build it up to 40,000. And what I did was I took it as a challenge. I said, okay, I built this account up to 40,000 people. And last year I made 90% of my high ticket sales from TikTok. Right.
Yeah.
I was doing things different than everybody else was doing. This is a little bit of why Group Juice was born. But I did like 105,000 last year in 2021. And it was TikTok was a big part of it, as well as Facebook and my group. They all go together very well. But when I lost that account, I said, I'll roll out a challenge. So I got on Facebook. I made a post. I said, hey, I just lost my account. I want to take, a handful of folks with me as I build a brand new account. And my goal was to get to 10,000 followers as quick as possible.
Okay.
And I built it back up to 20,000 in 30 days. All right.
Oh,
So,
that's crazy, man. People can't do it. Like
yep.
20,000 is huge, huge. Congratulations.
Yep. And
So
at the same time, I built my group to even more people. So everything was still growing and did that in 30 days. And then I didn't worry about growing anymore. But I made sure I built a even more targeted audience of the 20,000 folks because based on the 6 months of growing to 40,000, I knew exactly what kind of content to create. I knew exactly how to structure my videos. I knew exactly what kind of value that my particular audience needed to see in order to grow that fast. So if I wanted to grow more on TikTok, I could. I don't really focus on like massive growth anymore. It's more on my message and who I can help, who it's for, how I can help them, and what they'll be able to do.
a lot of people know about the group juice. Can you go like how I think this is really relatable how that was born, that idea was born. Can you share
Yeah,
that like as you mentioned, like you took people with I'm just assuming like how can you share like
yeah,
how the idea was born and how it's going on now too?
yeah. So how it was really born was it kind of started when I lost my account because I was doing things, I was following Group Juice strategies pretty much all year 2021. So when I lost that account, I just really doubled down on it. And let's see, April of 2021 is when I hit my biggest month. So I joined SAA in August 2020.
Okay.
And in less than 8 months, I hit my first $20,000 month. Right. And very,
20,000? That's amazing, man.
yeah,
Amazing.
I'll never forget it. The exact amount was $22,790. That was all in commissions. Yep.
Amazing, man.
Um,
Amazing.
and when I did that, very soon after, I joined Jacob's Inner Circle. Right. Jacob's got a very illicit group of elite people um, inside of the Inner Circle. So I joined that, and we had been in there a couple months, and Nate and I connected through SAA. And Nate and I noticed he interviewed me in his group, and we figured out we were doing very, very similar things. and we were both in the inner circle, just like we are now. And we were talking. I'd made, I think, one video had brought in like 600 people into my group.
600 people in the group?
Yeah, I had over 600 people waiting to get into my group at one point.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't even handle that, you know.
We can talk about that too.
Yeah.
So, but I had these 600 folks waiting to get in my group, and I was still closing high ticket sales, you know, left and right. And we were on an inner circle call, and we were sharing our wins, something we do before every call starts. And Jacob was like, "Man, that's crazy. You got, you know, 600 folks, you know, waiting to get in your group off of one video, pretty much in a week's time." And I was like, "Yeah, man, we got that group juice." And he was like, "That's it." He said, I want you to create an offer around what you guys are doing." So I went to work. Me and Nate, we partnered up. That's when we decided to do it. It was just before the end of 2021, coming into January of this year. And we took a little bit of time. We put an offer together. I wrote, you know, the offer doc that a lot of folks have purchased from. And that's really how it was born, right? I laid out everything inside of this offer, and we launched it, I'd say like the 1st of February, and we brought in like $10,000 before we even created it, right? Just pre-selling the offer. Yeah, we did. We got paid 10 grand to create it, and then we did it in a 4-day workshop, right? We just laid everything out, start to finish, best ways to start, how to grow your group, how to set it up, how to monetize, and then how to, you know, keep it going. We also added a bunch of other stuff, but that's how it was created. That's how it was born.
That's amazing, man. Like you learn like a big lesson here, like, you know, little things. Even Jacob mentioned it, you know. I didn't know about this thing. Jacob mentioned the group juice. Okay. It's a really nice name, by the way.
Thank you. Yep.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, Jacob, he even got behind us. We ran a little JV launch with him.
I know he got that
Yep.
coffee thing too. Yeah. It looks fun. I saw that, you know, you got a picture of him too, you know, smoking cigars. That was really funny. Okay, amazing. This question is really important for, you know, like from my stage to what stage I am, like a lot of people in the beginning stage, even in the later stages, when 1 year, like you are in about 5 years now.
Yeah.
5 years now. What costly mistakes a affiliate who's building a business can can they stop, like what costly make that you mistake that you can share your opinion on, that what people can get rid of, like what mistake you made. And I know you have mistakes too, I have mistakes too. What mistakes you made that people should stay away from?
All right. The way you think is a big one. So most folks will make decisions based on their situation that they're in right now. Say, for example, like, oh, well, you know, I'm not doing as well as I want to. I'm just going to continue to do it by myself and I'll figure it out. That's the most dangerous way to think. And what I really mean is accepting that you need help. I had to put my pride and ego to the side and be like, hey, I can't do this by myself. I've been failing for 3 years. So like if you're buying cheap courses and cheap trainings, you can expect cheap results. All right. No pun intended, but that's just the way it is. You get what you pay for, right? But again, people make decisions based on where they are right now instead of making decisions based on where they want to be or go, right? So, example, I failed a lot for 3 years. I lost like 40 grand of investments in different trainings, courses, coaches, etc. And then I got fired, struggled through 2020. Then I sold my lawnmower. Most folks know this story, but I sold my lawnmower to jump into SAA, right? And I didn't do that looking to make shit happen fast. I did it because everyone I had talked to, everyone I was speaking to about SAA, they were all from different backgrounds. I knew that was what I needed. And if I focused long enough and like dug in, created content, followed the whole nine, built my personal brand, I did it with the intention of getting to where I wanted to go in 6 to 12 months. Right. So I was thinking, and I made that decision to sell my lawnmower and jump in, not based on where I was at, which was kind of in bad shape, but I based that decision on where I wanted to be. Right. And in less than 8 months is when I hit that $20,000 a month. Right. So that's one big one. Don't make decisions based on how you are or what your situation is now. Make decisions based on where you want to be and what you want to achieve later. All right. That's a big one.
Got this question. You want to answer?
Yeah, I'll get it. Philip, I've actually chatted to Philip a little bit. We follow each other on TikTok. We've talked on Facebook a little bit. So right now, there's two different options that are the most popular for SAA. The first one is the basic option, right? That's $1,500. Okay. Now, what you get with that is the full 42-day program, lifetime access to it. You do not learn about the affiliate program until the end of the training because it's not geared just for you to sign up and be an affiliate. Based on everything in there, like literally is what changed the game for me. So the basic is $1,500. You do not get the Facebook community, the mastermind. You don't get the Tuesday calls. I'm lucky enough I got invited to be one of the folks that help with SAA. Paris will tell you I'm on the coaching calls on most Tuesdays, hang out with Jamie, Jacob, and Chris. That's the basic for $1,500. So the second one is the core, which is the most popular. That one's $3,000, and it does have a payment plan if you choose to do that. If anyone is interested, obviously get with Paris, but we can chat about whatever. Now, the difference with core and basic is core, you get access to the Facebook group where there's a questions thread and many, many extra things that Jacob has added and continues to add. And then every Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST, we do coaching calls, answer questions, make sure folks are getting all the support and help that they need to implement. All right. That's the prices. I'm glad to answer any other questions that anyone has around it.
And I want to add something. I like, they're so chill calls. It doesn't even feel like, coaching calls. It feels
Yeah.
like you're just hanging out, asking the question, building the businesses. It's
Yep.
really fun. It's really fun.
Yep. 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 I've been in there. I've been in SAA long enough to see 3 different price increases. So it's revamped now. It's SAA 2.0 as of today. There's literally so much in there. I still go back and check things out in there, especially the mindset.
Me
So
too.
yeah.
And as you mentioned, I will go dig more into this, especially as you mentioned, where you want to be and where you are. Make
Yep.
decision on the basis of that. But imagine someone is building everything. Audience is growing, everything's going good, but sales are slow or the sales are not coming.
Yeah.
So how should you balance that? If someone is just thinking, oh, I see like this is growing, but it's going in right direction too, but it's not just getting me money right now.
Yeah. So look at it from a realistic standpoint. All right. Y'all let me know in the comments. How many of you are working a job right now and you're not getting paid what you're worth, in your opinion? Right? You want more raises, you want to make more money, right? But you're not getting paid what you're worth. Okay. Now, here's the real example here. The better stories you can tell, this is also a marketing tip. The more stories you can tell in your content that relate to like everyday life for folks, like working a job, right? So here's the example. When you start at a brand new job, you don't immediately start at the pay that you want or the highest paid, right? You have to work your way up. I started at the plant at $10 an hour, and when I got fired, I was making $51 an hour. But in that span of time, I learned how to run every piece of equipment, every position in that plant. So I became a person of value. which is why I was making the money I was making there, right? I was the leader in the plant. Anyone had a problem, something went wrong, they came to me, I helped with the solution. Same thing when you're building a business online. Don't come into this game expecting to make $10,000 your first, second, or even third month, right? Because if you look at it this way, you're building long-term skills. If it took you, say, 2 to 6 months to really build and learn the skills that you need to go and sell anything you want, right? So let's say SAA, for example, $3,000 one-time payment or payment plan, but $3,000, $3,000 investment. You get lifetime access to everything that you could ever need when it comes to building a personal brand, high-ticket affiliate marketing, creating offers, sales, marketing, lead generation, the whole nine, right? You get everything you need. Well, it is a big investment, right? But if you're the person that's going to put the work in for the next 6 to 12 months to implement what's inside, and you get to a point where, you're closing big deals, right? My biggest deal I've ever closed was like, $6,000. My biggest day that I've ever made in a single day is like $12,000 one day, right? Now, right. So think about it. If it takes you 6 months to really get those skills, right, where it's like natural, it's habit, it's instinct, you naturally do it, you know what you need to do. Would that be worth the investment if you could get to, say, $5,000 or $10,000 a month consistently? Let me know in the comments. If the investment was $3,000 and in 6 to 12 months you could get to $5,000 to $10,000 a month, right? Which, let's see, 12 times 5 is 60, 12 times 10 is 120. So if it took you a $3,000 investment to learn how to build a business that makes you $60,000 to $120,000 a year, is that a good investment? Is it worth it to you? Right? So stop thinking, I want to get this now, and look at the long-term skills you're going to learn that are going to pay you in the years to come, right? Like, I'm nobody special. I'm just a country fella from Virginia that got fired. I wanted to do something online so I could be home more, and now we've got a business that does $20,000 to $50,000 a month 2 years after joining SAA. Let that sink in.
You just answered my next question. What kind of mindset should people come in with? You just answered my next question. Amazing,
Yeah,
man.
but
That's really
people,
helpful.
yeah,
That is really helpful that people know this is a long term. I take it as a game, long term game, not
yeah.
just quick money thing that you get the money in now and it doesn't work like that.
Yep.
Amazing, man. Next is you take a different approach than a lot of other folks than selling. You are more on the you have some strong, I see it every day now, strong relationship with your clients, Demi, Thad, your strong relationship.
Yeah.
And I believe you didn't focus on the selling.
Nope.
And how do you go for that? Like I'm trying to explain people a lot these days, don't focus on selling, focus on building relationship and people. Can you give your perspective on it, like how to focus on the relationship and how to really do that, give value in that sense, things like that?
Yep. You guys that are watching live or on the replay, I want you to type this into the chat. Relationship over revenue. If you're driving, don't worry about it, Philip. I know you're driving. But those of you that aren't driving and you're sitting here watching this live, type this in the chat. Relationship over revenue. And I'll explain why. When you build a relationship, right? The know, the like, the trust, the stuff that a lot of you have already heard. When you build the relationship, the revenue is going to follow, right? Here's another big mistake that I see a lot of folks making. They're chasing the sale, all right? They chase the sale. That's all they're looking at. And they're not actively listening to the folks that they're talking to on calls, Zoom calls, sales calls, in the DMs, in Messenger, right? Chatting to folks in the comments on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. They're not actively listening to what the folks are telling them. They're just asking a bunch of questions and then responding, right? It's almost like they're just trying to hurry up and get to the thing. But it's like, hey, if I'm chatting to someone brand new, I'm going to take my time to build a relationship. And then if it makes sense, I will make them an offer, but I'll make sure that they're comfortable saying no, right? Hey, this isn't a good time for me. That's a big investment. Cool. That's when the sale actually starts, when most folks, especially affiliates or anyone that's selling stuff, they think the sale is over because they said no. No. That's the perfect time to take them back to something that's of value, right? Nah, Flip, I can't afford that right now. That's a big investment. This isn't a great time. Hey, cool. No worries, right? No worries at all. Are you cool if me and you keep in contact? I've got a couple things that, I can point you to maybe help you get some quick wins and get some results in the meantime, right? How does that sound? Cool. I'm just going to bring them back to other things that I have to offer that are of value that will just further our relationship, right? This is why I make it a point to show up at least one time somewhere on one of my platforms with some kind of content, right? The more content they consume, the more know, like, and trust. They might come into my group. They might get on my email list. And they're seeing me in a bunch of different places. This is why I'll share as much value as possible.
That is powerful, man. That is powerful. Like I have this. I'm watching it too now. Like you know what happens? We're having really. I make sales too. I sell. when you may start making a sale, you forget about the relationship part. Like, I'm good. I don't have to focus on that now. But I come back to that again and again. It goes away when I start making money, and then again after that I'm not making money. It comes back. Oh, we are forgetting the main thing,
Yeah,
relationship. Focus on that.
100%. See, here's something else folks will forget. Like, perfect example. Yesterday, I had someone reach out to me that I hadn't talked to since 2020, right? So
Okay.
about 2 years ago. They said,
Amazing.
hey, man, I'm seeing you pop up everywhere. I just wanted to touch back and see if you could give me some insight on the best places to start. Boom, another conversation rekindled, right? And now the relationship is starting back from where it ended, right? Number two, someone else messaged me yesterday. Hadn't talked to him since the summer of last year, 2021, right? Hey, I think it's time, man. I've seen enough of your stuff. What's the best place to start? Boom, there was a sale, right? So as you're building your business and you're simply documenting things that you're doing, you're learning, you're experimenting, stuff you're testing, results, lifestyle, etc. Folks are paying attention whether you realize it or not. Some folks will hate you, some folks will love you, right? The folks that hate you will laugh at you and talk shit. It's just part of the game. But the folks that love you will pay attention, show up in your world. The relationship will get stronger, and they will eventually buy something from you, right? So, like, folks I chatted to a year ago, they're just now coming around to buying. Some folks see me and they might buy something from me in 2 days. I've had that happen. But the relationship is really what does it.
I think you plant those seeds on the way
Mm-hmm.
and you let them nurture. I see it as that, like, plant those seeds. If it's not a sale right now, it's no forever. It's no just for right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a no right now. It's not a no, just right now.
Not right now. And this is really helpful, man. This is really helpful for me too. And I think like people who are on live and people who watching the replay really give a lot of understanding like how to see it as like a long term thing and
Yep.
think it like that.
Yep.
And something I have like some personal question I want to ask too. Like I am building a community. For this,
Yep.
especially someone who is building a community, who is this, I see this as the biggest asset
Mm-hmm.
than my YouTube channel, than anything like the community part.
Yeah.
But I saw as you shared the other day that you struggle with something, like you overthink as well. If you don't show up like 3 to 4 days, things like that, you have ADHD. how now, like in my mind, it goes, I'm just giving you really in my mind, it goes when you're successful, then share your vulnerability. But right now you can't show because people will think you're a loser. People think this guy
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
able to help me out. What do you think about that? Like you are really like real with people. What do you think about that?
yeah. So the challenges and stuff that I go through now, like they're way different from 12 months ago or 24 months ago. I still go through struggles, and I do have ADHD. I will squirrel off and do a bunch of shit without getting the one thing I need to get done. But I still go through stuff. If there are folks, I don't care what level of success they're at. They might be making $5,000 a month. They might be doing $100,000 a month. They still go through shit, right? So sometimes I'll go quiet. I might not post something or do any content for a couple days. Most of the time, that's because I'm dealing with something, right? I'm dealing with something. I'm trying to get through it, and then I'll bring it to my audience on how I overcame it, right? So if nobody's listening, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. Your struggles will make you money. All right. I've made a shit ton of mistakes. I've wasted a lot of money. I've made bad investments. I've wasted time. I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way, not just in business, but life in general. But when you can describe a struggle or a pain or a challenge in such vivid detail that folks cannot ignore the fact they know you dealt with it and went through it and you know exactly where they are. I'll give you an example. Let's say this is real too. Let's say I've been in affiliate marketing for a year. Nothing's really happening. And I made a post that said, this is like copywriting / specificity. Shout out to Jacob again. If I said, do you ever create content and you think it's great and you just get a bunch of crickets? Nobody ever responds. Nobody takes you serious. And you're just wondering if folks will ever listen to you. Will folks ever buy anything from you? Right? You get caught in your head saying things like, nobody's ever going to buy from me. Why would they follow me? Right? I have all this knowledge. I just don't know how exactly to put it out so it makes sense for other people. Right? That's something a lot of folks would relate to. And be like, yeah, I feel like that often. But when you switch gears and say, okay, look, I went through this struggle and here's what I did to overcome it. Number one, I stopped giving a shit about what other people thought. I stopped paying attention to other people and what they were doing. I stopped comparing myself. And I said, hey, this is my journey. This is my experience. Nobody can take it away from me. And if I sit back in the seat and just show up every day, sharing things that I'm doing, challenges I'm overcoming, struggles that I dealt with and how I dealt with them, then folks will start to realize, hey, this guy has been through what I'm going through. Because your ideal customer is really just you 3 months ago, 6 months ago, last month, right? And if you can describe things you've dealt with and overcome while sharing everything else, folks will start to pay attention. I'm not afraid to say, hey, I don't have everything figured out now. I'm not good at some things, but a lot of things I am good at, right? So if I can say, hey, I'm not good at this, right? I'm not the guy for that. But then if I come back and say, well, I'm really good at, growing groups. I'm really good at closing sales. I'm really good at, creating offers, right? I'm really good at helping other people get results, right? But I'm not good at tech because I'm not, right? Are you going to focus on me not being good at tech, or are you going to listen to me when it comes to
Because
offers, right?
100%.
There's the
100%.
difference. There's the difference.
Makes sense. Being biased, being I this was a really big mindset shift for me. I was listening to this guy who's like a really go focus on the mindset kind of thing,
Yep.
and like every person you see that is super successful, like crazy, you can't even Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. See, they are so biased, they can't even are not in their reality right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so biased about good things and just focus on that. And they are aware of that as you are aware of like tech. I'm aware of my job, like things that I care about, things like that.
Yeah.
But you can't let them in the way.
Yeah. 100%.
And something I wanna ask you this as just a second.
Appreciate the beard comment.
So, this is something I I don't know what's happening. You mentioned associations. Like right now,
Mhm.
we are online, right? Something I struggle with this today too as well. In even not even in freaking Canada, not even like don't have any friends who in Canada who can hang out with one on one in this industry. Our online friends we all have, right?
Yeah.
And how to how to get those associations, like you are in the inner circle now, you meet with Nate Ryan there, and that association help you because there's a big thing happen when you start going to those associations. But how not to affect your reality, like the person you the person you meet with on day-to-day basis into that kind of thinking.
So let me make sure I get what you're saying. Like just
Yeah.
networking in general, like
No,
meeting new people.
like we meet people online all day, right?
Yep.
But our thinking changes, our lot of mindset changes when you see people. This guy's making like $50,000 a month, like not around talking to you. We are talking here, but when we go with your like friends, when you go hang out, how to
Yeah.
not let their thinking be on that? Oh, this is really hard. Like you can't make it. I will just do a job. Things like that. You have
Yeah.
been through that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So like I've met a lot of awesome people online, business relationships, just straight friendships and whatnot. Um, but when it comes to like real life, like I've only got a small circle of friends, and I really try to keep things separate. I don't really talk about a bunch of details around, like income because like folks that know you in real life, they will look at you a certain way, right? They'll cast their judgment. But when I'm talking to folks online or in a Zoom meeting with folks that are just crushing it, like in the inner circle,
Yeah.
dude, it's a completely different vibe. We can talk openly about what we do, what we deal with, how well we're doing. It's it's almost like you get better by default just because you're surrounded by folks that think the way you do, right? But if I go hang out with my friends, I try and keep it, how it used to be, right? Because
Okay.
when I say, hey, yeah, we did 50 grand in July, they're like, what?
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 with this Facebook, and I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good. Like it's good for me as well. Like don't just keep it separate a little bit. Keep it
right,
separate.
right,
Like
yeah,
even my mom don't understand what I do.
yep,
So and they're like, get a real job. Now if, after I got my struggles too and all that, now she's understanding, oh, you're
yeah,
doing better, and now I think you can
yeah,
keep that.
yep. Same stuff, man. When I lost my job, my dad, I told him what I wanted to do. Go all in online. He was like, boy, you better leave that internet shit alone and go get another job. He said, you got a wife and kids to think about. I was like, yeah, they're the ones I'm thinking about. This is why I want to do this. And, I respect my dad and I listen to him. He's helped me a lot. But I said, I ain't listening to you this time. I was like, I'm gonna do this my way. If I fail, at least I'll know that I tried. And that
No.
was that was right around the time things were picking up for me. And I sent him a screenshot. I think I did like 8,000 bucks in a week or something. And I sent him that and I said, is it cool if I take you out to eat with this bullshit internet money? Right? He 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 hit me back and he was like, "You don't have to be an asshole about it." He's like, "But when are you picking me up?" And we went out to eat, and he hasn't really given me any shit about it anymore.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I did that to myself. Like I said, I had a screenshot. I sent to my mom because, like for me, like we make in USD, right? Like it's a whole interest in USD, and Indian money it converts to like crazy amount, like multiply by six, like multiply by 80. So I showed him that, show her that. Okay, he's like, okay, you're making this. Okay, all good to go.
Oh.
Perfect. And go on that. Take a lot of notes.
Yeah. Anyone that's watching, like let me know if you guys got any questions. I'm glad to jive on something you guys want to know. Right? I see it's a couple of folks, so I'm not sure how many of you are here, but if you got a question, drop it in the comments.
I wanna. We'll wait for a comment if there is one. I have a really interesting question to ask.
Okay.
I will ask. I have heard this story a lot of time. I just want you like to share to my audience as well. Like when
Okay.
you came to Jacob Karras, and now like you in a circle, then you are on the team, and how you got into like what you said to Jacob Karras, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Um, so I haven't really talked about this story a whole lot. I'll try to make it quick. But before I found SAA, I was going through it, man. I was dealing with some stuff. We were trying to just make sure the bills were paid every month, and I'd already took a bunch of trainings. I actually sent Jacob a message asking him to let me join SAA for free. Right? I sent him this. I mean, I'm talking about if the message was on his phone, the message was this long. Like I sent him a long message, and he opened it. He never responded, and I just remember thinking like, damn, he left my ass on red, right? And it wasn't too long after I said, you know what? That's when I sold the lawnmower and I jumped in, and I started gaining traction, pretty quick. Within I say like 2 months because I made some extra money for Christmas. So August to Christmas, I started gaining momentum, and I got on his radar. He's like, "Hey man, I see you've been smashing out, some results and making some sales." He's like, "Keep that up." And I sent him a message, a couple months after joining. I said, "Yeah, man, I appreciate the shout out. Hopefully, I can be on the team one day." And he sent me a message that said, "Absolutely, man. We keep our eyes open for good folks, right?" And then I'd say probably about a year later, that's when I got invited. He invited me to be a part of the team, help with some things behind the scene, and it's probably one of my biggest wins online to kind of call it. I asked a question in the DMs. I scrolled up. It was like pretty much a year exactly within like a couple of days, I think, from where I said I'd love to be a part of the team to where he sent me the invite to be a part of the team. Right. So
That's
shit can happen
that's
fast.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I just wanted on this record. Like I love this story. Like this thing inspires me like crazy. Like you sent the message for the free thing, and
Yeah.
now you're on the team in a circle, and it's
Yeah.
just inspires me like crazy.
Yep. See,
So,
that's how it
pardon?
works. I
Yeah.
said that's how it works.
Like you guys, you got the whole mindset opens, right? Like, oh, what is possible with this live thing? Like,
Yeah.
what can happen if you just keep on, just
Yep.
don't quit.
Yep.
So, next is, what are you thinking about the future? I know I saw your post today, like your new group. What do you think about like next 2, 3, whatever? Where are things going for you? You making your own program? Like, what are you planning? Things like that.
I'd say by the end of next year, we're planning to walk across the stage to get our 2 Comma Club award. So by the end of next year, we're expecting and planning to hit 7 figures. Okay. That's kind of like our focal point, if you will, or as Jacob would call it, the North Star. And the next couple of years, you know, we'd love to we'd love to be doubling and tripling, you know, doing $100,000 months. We've already had we did two $50,000 months this year so far. Like the last 75 days, we've did over 100,000. So
That's
I know
amazing,
it,
man.
I know it's possible, right? So I'd say the next 5 to 10, Nate and I we want to get into real estate. Still
Uh,
continuing, still going to continue to do what we do. Just keep building, man, and keep growing, right?
I like that. Love it, man. I would love to watch the two Coma Club thing happen next year. Love to.
Yep. Yep.
And so I will. Hey guys, if you have any questions, we're gonna wrap it up soon. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the questions. And we are here. Philip Jackson, I have so many questions. Ask it away, man. Feel free to ask it away. I'm here. We are here. And I appreciate like some people like three it goes up and down, but three people are all always here. Like thank you so much for giving your time, and I really appreciate you for being here,
Yep.
investing in yourself, learning from a guy who is doing some crazy stuff.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, drop a. I know if you're still driving, I get it. Hell, pull over and drop a question or two. Just kidding. Now, questions get me fired up. If you haven't noticed, Paris has asked me a lot of great questions. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. I actually made an offer to Paris not too long ago, and he turned me down. He said, "Not right now." And then he turned around and got an offer from Jacob, right? So, and I was actually cool with it. I was excited because he still got into SAA, and I've seen his name pop up. He's closed, you know, a handful of high ticket sales, and he's doing well. And now I'm in his group, hanging out with you guys, trying to give you guys awesome value. So it's
And
funny how things work.
just because of the relationship, that's the thing. Like you were nice to me. It's just that I was not that nurtured yet. I was at the point to buy, but I was not that nurtured. I was nurtured more about Jacob Garris. That was the only difference. But that's the relationship. Like things happen for a reason. And when I joined too, you asked me like who you joined through. Like I had Jacob Garris, and you told me I couldn't refuse the offer
Yep,
too, and
those are
that
good.
was good.
Yeah, hell yeah, you can't be mad at that, right? Um,
100%, 100%.
yeah, I'm just happy that you're doing well, man. Philip's got a good question. Now, I can't reveal too much on that question, but what I'll say is this, uh, Philip, if you're serious, right? Obviously, since you're in Paris's group, we would want Paris to get compensated for the commission. But I've got a little bit of pull. All right. So if you're serious, have a chat with me. You can hit me on Facebook. And if you are serious, and I say this heavily, not lightly, if you're serious and you want to see what I can do as far as like uh, a custom deal, let me know. If I can work with you, I'll say yeah. If I can't, I'll be like, hey, we just can't do anything just yet. So, and I say that cautiously because we've had some folks where I went out of my way to do something for them, and they defaulted. Okay, so if you're serious about it, hit me up. I'll make sure that Paris is taken care of, and we'll get you in if if it makes sense. Okay, whether it's basic, whether it's SAA, depending on what kind of support you want. I'm glad to chat. Chat. It wouldn't take me but a couple messages to let you know what I could do. So shoot me a DM. I'll walk you through it. If it works out, I can let Jacob know. We'll make sure Paris is taken care of. All that cool stuff. Okay.
We got the man from the team, so it's all good.
There you go.
We got one more question.
Okay, even though everything is answered already, I've mostly heard of sales getting closed only by PDF Word doc offer. So this is something that'll work when you hit a specific figure or someone who just starting out as well. What would you
Oh,
suggest?
okay. This
Great
is a
question. This
great
this will
question.
be this will be really good. All right. So this is when I fell in love with offer creation because all right, so just to speak freely and openly, lots of folks have heard of Legendary Marketer, lots of folks heard of Freedom Breakthrough, List Lion, all the lower ticket products. Offer creation is something that Jacob dives really deep into inside of SAA, right? And this is where my love for offer creation came from when I created my first one with an actual Google Doc, PDF, whatever you want to call it. So you do not have to be at a certain level in order to use this strategy, right? So prime example, inside of Group Juice, one of our bonus trainings that we added after we created it was how to craft and offer 5 different ways. So like custom deals, consulting deals, affiliate offers, offers from the hip, low ticket, high ticket, right? All of this stuff is what I learned from Jacob, right? So hopefully if Jacob ever sees this video one day, he'll see how many times that I mentioned his name and gave him credit because I love the dude to death. He's helped me the most in my business, right? But you don't have to be at a certain level. If you have something to sell right now, if you already got an affiliate product, whether it's a low ticket, high ticket, mid ticket, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you can break down and use like the copywriting skills, also covered in SAA, if you can break down and assemble your copy, right? I've got this copywriter dude. He's in SAA, Chris Donnelly. He's an absolute fucking wizard. He writes for big names that he can't even mention because he writes for them. So he helps with the copy side of things. But when you assemble your copy correctly to depict what the offer is, what the folks are dealing with, how it looks to work with you, what it's going to help them achieve, duration, price point, right? Whatever that, when you can lay it all out and make it make sense, and then take to your lead generation strategy, right? To where you can generate leads that want to see the offer, that can benefit from the offer, then that's that in a nutshell. Literally, all I do, my 6-figure business secrets, drum roll, I create content, I build relationships, I make offers that are relevant to, the conversations that I'm having with folks. If it makes sense, I close the deal, I get paid, I work with them, I get results, they continue to buy things from me, right? Most of the folks that are working closely with us now continue to buy things from us, right? So this is a strategy I wish I would have deployed earlier because it removes the fancy tech, all the software, the funnels, like it just removes it all. If your offer is good enough around the product, right? And you can, even if it's something you wanted to create, I've actually got a offer creation training that I created. We pulled it out of Group Juice. We just finished a promo for it. It's back up to $197, but I cover this in high detail. If you want it, hit Paris up. He can let me know, and we can get you sorted. But this is a strategy that anybody can use, regardless of what they sell. Okay, it's super simple. I love it. I'll probably never sell a different way. I haven't done phone calls in over a year. Everything is closed with this way of doing things, and we've made, I don't know, a lot. We made a lot of money and helped a lot of folks following this strategy without chasing friends, without searching for folks to add as a friend. Long ass conversations, no sales calls, just folks reach out. That's like what Group Juice is built around, right? So yeah, that's what I would suggest. Look at the product you have if you have one, and list out everything that is inside, like the most beneficial, right? And think about them reading it and going through a journey. You want to bring them on the journey with you, what it looks like to work with you, what you'll help them achieve, all that, right? I go into super high detail with the offer creation masterclass. So hopefully that answered your question.
This is really helpful, man. Thank you so much for answering that.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll get Paris and in Group Juice one day, and he can do what a lot of folks do now. We got like this cool stuff that we do now. We do bundle deals, right? So like I've sold a shit ton of SAA/Group Juice bundle deals.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, 100%.
That's really good, man. Like when you bundle up, you get a lot of things, and people get a lot of value in the same offer, like to boost up a lot of things. If they
Yeah,
can SA plus group shoes, group is growing, and they know how to do the copy, how to build the audience, things
yeah,
like that from SA. It's
yep,
amazing, amazing.
100%. And looking at Jasmine's last thing, thanks for answering. You're welcome. So rapport building is not necessarily important by getting on a call via Messenger is good to go as well. Yeah, and I don't want folks to think I'm talking shit about folks that do sales calls, because I did those for a while. But in my experience, you'll have folks waste your time. All right, so I won't get on a call just to do small talk. If I'm getting on a call with you, you're already interested in what I got, and I just want to make sure that you're a good fit. But most of the time, my offer docs and like learning from Jacob how we do things, I've completely removed the freebie seekers and time wasters, right? But calls do work, especially if you're getting started in the beginning. I put a lot of reps in with sales calls. All right, I did that, and as I was growing, I was getting busier. Just like now, we've started hiring folks to help us do certain things so that we don't have to do them, and we can just focus on content and conversations, right? So you can learn all these skills. I wanted to learn everything behind the scenes first, do everything myself. That way, if there's ever a problem when we start delegating, we can still jump in and handle it, right? So I know the ins and outs of everything thanks to SAA, which was what allowed me to go and create my own shit. Plus, I get to work with Jacob very closely, and I'll be forever grateful for that. So just putting things in my own hands, paying to be in rooms with folks that are smarter than me. You don't want to always be the smartest person in the room, right? Because if you're always the smartest person in the room, you're never going to grow. So I still will pay and invest to be surrounded by other folks that are further along than me. And then I can bring that back into my business, help the folks that are paying me to work with them, and it's just like this awesome cycle that just continues to get bigger and bigger.
I have something on this, like getting into the right rooms. Recently, I invested in myself, a performance coaching, and how to get the best performance out of myself. And there are guys, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, making $300,000 a month,
Yep.
and that guy is so like giving value and learning from those guys. Like, they are only in sales; they're not in the building businesses.
Yep.
That guy shared a PDF to to for the sales what he do to make $300,000. So getting into the right rooms, it's so crucial. Like it so makes sense to me right now being in this one in the long term. Like I crossed just 1 year in this, and now everything is making so much sense. Like everything you're saying, it makes so much sense now. If I heard this same interview 1 year, like even 6 months ago, before jumping to SA, nothing would make sense. Now everything is just learning from you and what you're saying. It's just making total clarity, sense, everything.
Absolutely, man. It does get easier. The longer you're in the game and you're thinking long term, like more and more shit will start to make sense. You're like, I missed that in the beginning. Then it'll make sense. And every time you level up, you're gonna run into new issues, new problems. But that's just something to expect and embrace, and know that that means you're growing. We call those growing pains. Shit gets hard. I just went through a funk not too long ago, right? Still doing really well. Money isn't what this is all about anymore. It's like we make money. We got recurring income that hits the account every single month. And it's not really about the money anymore. It's about the impact on others that we can have. Just like, you mentioned Thad and Demi earlier. We helped them run a launch, create an offer, run a launch, and they did like almost 40 grand in less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Now they've got their own thing. So like, it's exciting to help folks do that and see it change, because the offer they created is already helping a lot of people. So you can kind of see how things will start here, go here with more people, and then it impacts even more people. And it kind of started, You know, when
With you.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
And like now, like the Damien Thad are doing their own thing, but they gonna impact so many people with that, and they people are gonna be gonna learn, and from that, a lot of people are learning the skills.
Yeah,
That this is so crucial, like offer creation and thing like this is so crucial. If people can understand this, I was not even aware about the offer, like the doc or anything, till I talked to Jacob.
yep,
I was in a $10,000 program.
yeah,
So and I know you've been through as well. So it's just crazy, man. Like what lot of programs are missing out there, and they are doing their best too because they know this is the thing.
yep,
But there are a lot of things they are missing about traffic and a lot of things.
yeah. Like I heard Alex Hormozy say something because I've been binging on a lot of his stuff the last couple weeks.
Me
He
too.
said he said he said stop thinking in days and start thinking in decades. So stop looking for the quick win tomorrow and look at what you can do today that future you will thank yourself for in the months to come. Right?
100%. 100%. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. And we are crossing about 1 hour mark now, and I will let Mr. Flip go and do his work. And thank you so much for being here. And can you share where can people find you? I can mention your community. But can you share where can people find you?
Yeah.
People learn
Um,
from things like that.
if you guys want to go to flipmoss.com, right? That's where I've got my group link right now. I host it inside of a Beacons page. No WW in the front. Just type flipmoss.com. It should take you there. You can answer 3 questions. Come into my group. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. Obviously, my Facebook group, Facebook profile, whatever. Um, that's where you can find me. And if you do want to seek me out, let me know that where you come from, Paris, because I do this really cool thing. When people refer me business, even if they're not an affiliate, I do compensate them for bringing me a good person that I would work with, right? So
Nice man. Appreciate.
yeah, man.
So I will put in the link in the in the comments too, so they can easily find you out. And any final thoughts you have, any final thought you want to share, things like that.
Yeah. Anyone who's looking to get started, or even if you've already started, just really aim for progress and not like massive growth, right? So that's kind of a heavy one, but if you're doing all the things that are going to bring you results, but you're not getting them just yet, keep doing it. If you're growing, if you're progressing, you're doing well. Like future you 6 months from now will thank you for it. Okay, so hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments if this was helpful, if you got any value, or if it sucked, whatever. Hopefully y'all got something from it. Okay.
If you're watching replay too, other question replay too, I will make sure to answer them. And thank you so much, Flip. Thank you so much, everyone, to being here for like more than 1 hour. And I'll let you go now. Thank you so much, and wish you a great day.
Thank you. Catch y'all on the flip side.
Thank you. Right. Perfect.